while others are still holding out hope tonight. 69 News reporter Tom Rader is live near the scene at 2nd Avenue in Franklin with the latest on that. Tom?
Yeah, staying, with that news we just heard from Jack, that latest news that families still holding out hope have to bear. Night falling once again on this devastating scene. You take a look here behind me. Crews still working diligently. You see that large ladder there coming off of that fire truck. Large piles of rubble and families still along the police line here searching for answers.
Now, the point in the timeline often attached to horrific, unexpected tragedies like these, the stories of those that made it out.
That was the first person I looked for when I came out on the sidewalk yesterday, and to see her safely coming out of the building, that's what brought me to tears, is knowing that she was safe, because that's my connection is my neighbor that walks past me every single day to go into that building.
And those still unaccounted for. It's the kind of thing where a shift change can change your life and the lives of those who love you forever.
So I got a sister that works there one shift, and my niece works there another shift.
Frankie Gonzalez of Reading says his niece on the earlier shift came home. His sister, 45-year-old Diana Cedeno, did not. Meanwhile, the family searches and waits.
We've been at the hospital. We went to the fire department. We went, the guys and everything, they're doing a good job, but, we're still left in a blind. We was at the hospital till 4 o'clock in the morning.
His first sleep without the knowledge of where his sister is went like this.
I go home and jump up out of my sleep. That, my sister's, in the rubble, yelling at me as I'm falling asleep.
Meanwhile, caution tape and roadblocks seem like a weak defense when faced with a family's uncertainty.
Gotta wait it out, She would do it for me, I gotta do it for her.
Waiting it out, and you can't help but think about families like Frankie's and others. Actually, as we were just arriving here on scene, another family came up, a number of people. There was a woman in the middle. They were holding her up. You could tell she was crying, distraught, just in the throes of grief. They brought her up here to the yellow police tape, and she was here for a moment, and then they brought her back. So again, still families holding out hope, hoping for more clarity heading into tomorrow. Live in West Reading, Tom Rader, 69 News. Wendy, it's been months since this horrific tragedy. That memorial behind me for the 7 victims still along that fence. Cleanup work continues. You talk to some of the residents around here. Some may have moved on beyond this space, but it's still very close, very visceral for those that live in this community. And now this latest report, new information regarding the investigation as the families of the victims want answers.
They had this time to get out and everything. It's not like it's just being found out. It's being confirmed. But it was known from day one that they had the time to get out.
That time to get out, those minutes, those seconds that have been mulled over and combed through by so many investigators over the past couple of months. Now that OSHA representative telling us that OSHA plans to meet with representatives from the R.M. Palmer factory in the near future. Live in West Reading, Tom Rader, 69 News.
Meet World War II veteran Edward Chahosky.
Navy, I enlisted right after Pearl Harbor, and I got the destroyer USS Sawfleet, DD-465.
The Reading native is getting ready for Veterans Day and is just days away from his 99th birthday.
I really don't give it a thought, but I think, thank God, I can get around with the walker,
He's still as sharp as any modern-day sailor and can rattle off every island he ever set foot on. Don't believe me?
Guadalcanal, Tulagi, Russell Island, Green Island, Treasure Island, Bougainville, Villa Vella, Clumbagara, Rendova, Munda.
His favorite?
Was Guadalcanal, because I remember we got hit with, that's a first taste of battle.
And he still remembers all his jiu-jitsu military moves.
Grab the wrist, put this in his body, and flip him over.
Now, far from the violent islands of World War II, in the comfort of his home, he's looking back on his life and brushes with death.
We were getting closer sinking. The ship was filling up with water. Thank God we had good people, knew what they were doing.
As he witnesses more violence around the world, he says wars are a bad thing, But if asked to enlist again,
I probably would, because I'm a diehard American. I believe in America 100%.
he says it's a blessing he's made it this long.
Well, I think God had a purpose for me, because I should have been killed or wounded so many times. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't take drugs. I control my temper, and I'm religious. That's about it.
Does he have any advice for any young person considering service?
If it's necessary, yes. And just take your chances. God will be looking after you.
Tom Rader, 69 News.
69 News reporter Tom Rader is live with more. Tom.
Hi, Wendy. Yeah, tomorrow and Sunday don't sound all that great, as we just heard from Dan, but I'll tell you what, it is a beautiful night out here at First Energy Stadium for Burke's Summerfest on this last night of summer. Imagine that. Crowd's starting to fill in here. We're getting ready for the Billy Joel All-Star Band to take the stage here behind me, right on home plate. And we got some big Billy Joel fans. One of the biggest I've got standing right next to me here. This is my buddy Irv from Robizonia. And Irv, show me your shirt here. Where'd you get this shirt at?
At Citizens Bank Park.
Citizens Bank Park. And I was actually at the same show with my brother that Irv was, but this fits both. Fits the Phillies, and it's got Billy Joel. Show him the back as well there, Irv. Take a look at this, folks. Look at that, the Piano Man. And that was the year, 2013 was the year of the show. Look at that. Excited for the show tonight?
Absolutely.
Hoping to hear anything in particular?
Captain Jack, but they probably won't play it.
Yeah. Captain Jack, of course. That's another local thing, too, because WMMR out of Philly was the first radio station to play that, and Billy only plays that in Philly. That's right. Well, enjoy the show, Irv.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, City. Just really cool. Lots of great fans out here. Everybody's excited for Billy Joel's All-Star Band and the whole slate of music throughout the entire evening. Let's take a look how they got the stage set up today.
Summer weather has had its way with Burke's Summerfest plans at First Energy Stadium, originally slated for June, but a condensed version is ready for tonight.
A little chaotic. We had to do a lot of phone calls yesterday, just moving everybody around, but we were very lucky and fortunate that all but two of the original groups that were supposed to be here were able to accommodate us and move into Friday.
The first base concourse stage and the main stage right on home plate is set for a lineup of bands, beginning with the Billy Joel All-Star Band. It's all the big process that couldn't have happened without a number of organizations and sponsors.
And the Phillies have been great partners in making sure that we can make this event happen, maybe not as originally planned, but to still make it happen.
Despite the scheduling issues and weather impact throughout the summer, organizers say they still plan to bring it back to First Energy next summer.
We'll do a debrief, and hopefully this can become an annual event for the community.
But for now, the focus is on First Energy Stadium for tonight.
It is going to be a jam-packed, wonderful evening tonight, non-stop music.
Non-stop music indeed. Crowd continuing to fill in here. This is a free event, so you want to come down to First Energy Stadium and enjoy it with your family. As I said, Billy Joel's All-Star Band set to take the stage in less than half an hour, coming up on 15 minutes. They'll take the stage at 6 p.m. Of course, one of the biggest rock drummers in rock history, Liberty DeVito, will be behind the kit tonight. I hope they play Say Goodbye to Hollywood. That's one of my favorites, as that iconic drum intro. So come on down as we say goodbye to summer here at First Energy Stadium. Live at First Energy Stadium, Tom Rader, 69 News.
Some may pass by a white wall in West Reading and not see much potential.
Yeah, I kind of see it in my head first.
But for Phillies fan and artist Tim Riegel of Shillington,
and I'm out here to try to get some positive energy going on.
He sees a blank canvas and an opportunity to begin painting the town red.
So I'm excited to use the artwork to get the visuals out there so people can see to get the reminder and get the energy going.
You may remember that Harper shock face he painted on a shirt last year, and he thinks this year's players are the kind that would give you their shirt off their back.
I think this team is a little more together and a bond.
As he finishes up his Red October mural behind the IA Club in West Reading.
It's pretty much going to say, Go Phillies, in kind of like three-dimensional letters with a ball.
There's one more potential painting project on his mind.
Hopefully I could get to paint the Phillies holding the World Series trophy up in the air.
Tom Rader, 69 News.
It's been nearly 2 weeks of tense days and nights in Chester County as a convicted killer who escaped from jail avoided capture.
He's in custody now. We continue our live team coverage of the arrest of Danilo Cavalcante. Jack Reinhard will have more on how police got him in just a moment. But we start with Tom Rader, who's live near the spot where police found Cavalcante in South Coventry Township, about 5 miles from the Berks County line. Tom, what's the feeling there?
Rob and Wendy, just continued relief as that sense of normalcy continues to return here to this community. And you talked about the 2 weeks, those long days and nights, and now really summed up in a few short words by this business owner here, this Agway Garden Center. The sign reads, "It's over. Thank you, law enforcement." I spoke with a business owner across the street. She's from Reading, Berks County. She runs Rader's here. She felt compelled this morning after Cavalcante's capture to take frozen coffees to members of law enforcement. So it's really started there, those feelings of gratitude moving throughout the day. Finally, now that all this is over.
In terms of big news stories for this area, one nearby homeowner put a number on it.
This is number one.
And for one business manager, the unexpected.
Never thought it would be right here. That was never a thought.
Many kept a close eye in the ongoing manhunt, but no one knew such a big story would come to an end on a normally quiet patch of forest behind a tractor dealer.
It's a positive thing that this finally finished and it's done. And a lot of people in the neighborhood here that shop here and do business here and live in this area can now feel relieved that it's over and done with.
Even as though the search progress seemed to speed up and abruptly stop, hope remained.
It's not walking on the street or running. It's going through the woods. Yeah, so I'm glad that he's in custody.
And so the community can now stop counting the days.
I knew they're going to catch him because he cannot live that much in the wilderness. What was it, 14 days already?
And despite the unexpected, slightly annoying spotlight.
Now it's just like, just kind of won it all over because, the media attention it's great for business, but at the same token, it's like if you could do one and done, it'd be great. But
one business manager can count at least one sale off of the coverage.
Saw on the news the tractors in the yard and, wants to buy a tractor. I wasn't expecting that. That was odd.
It's crazy stuff there, right? Just 2 weeks of so much uncertainty, and now we're beginning to see those images of certainty, right? One just coming out recently of Cavalcante back in state custody, those mugshots, those booking photos from SCI Phoenix. Live in South Coventry Township, Tom Rader, 69 News.
He called it one of the hardest decisions he's ever had to make. 69 News reporter Tom Rader spoke to that farmer, and Tom's joining us live in Richmond Township now. Tom?
Rob and Wendy, good evening. Yeah, not far from where I'm standing is where this wild story came to an end. And the farmer I spoke with today said it wasn't easy.
It can be a very hard yet peaceful existence.
Farming is about the only occupation that's worth doing. You work with the soil, you work with nature.
But the last few days for a rural community in Collegetown and Kutztown have proven that sometimes nature can't always be tamed.
It had like a wild nature to it, more like a deer.
The farmer says his son brought the heifer, the daughter of a Jersey and a dwarf cow, to his farm to be bred over the weekend. But the heifer had other plans, making a daring escape onto Main Street in the borough.
The worst part was to know that there's an animal out there that could hurt somebody. Either animal attacking them or getting hit by a vehicle.
According to the farmer, that unlikely escape came to an end near St. Mary's Catholic Church in Richmond Township, where he says he put the wild heifer down.
That's one of the farmer's hardest things to do, is put one of his animals down.
Right.
But sometimes that's just what has to be done, and we have to face that, and that's just one of those things. Yeah. One of the harder parts about farming.
He describes the aggressive heifer like one he'd never seen before.
It's very seldom you see the look this cow had in its eyes. It was just wow.
Yeah, a very difficult couple of days for that farmer and his family. He also wanted to stress that he's grateful to the local police, Kutztown University, and the community for their help. Live in Richmond Township, Tom Rader, 69 News.